Hi Sophie, thanks for coming to talk to me today. Part of the Towards Zero Suicide initiative this year that's being coordinated by Public Health is based on this year's slogan for World Suicide Prevention Day, which is hope through action. And I know that when you've lost somebody that you love very much to suicide, it's very hard for people to see any kind of light at the end of the tunnel or hope. But I wonder if you'd like to tell me a little bit about what you've done with Georgia's Voice, which is really quite inspirational.
Yeah, thanks, Anne. Okay, so after losing Georgia to suicide, I felt the biggest thing that I felt really was kind of helpless, like I couldn't help her anymore, and that that loss of purpose. And so the idea for Georgia's Voice came around when I kind of thought, well, instead of being angry at the lack of help there was for her, what wasn't available, why don't we try and help? There has to be other girls that are feeling the same way that Georgia feels, that need that help, that need that support. Why don't we try and find a way to provide that support, which in turn obviously gave me a purpose, gave me some hope and, a reason to carry on. So, yeah, that's where the idea for Georgia's Voice came from. I didn't exactly know what Georgia's Voice was going to be to start off with. It was just an idea. We started with just one group in Falmouth. We obviously now have 12 groups up and running.
That's amazing. In 1 year, that's extraordinary.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll eventually have groups in every town in Cornwall, or at least so that every woman in Cornwall has easy access to one, they can get to one easily.
Yeah.
The vision is that they have that support, that environment where they feel safe, understood, supported. We aren't mental health professionals, but we collaborate with mental health professionals, with other organisations, with other charities, put these girls in touch with these other amazing organisations that are out there, pay for them to have talking therapy, kind of anything they need like that, really.
Just tell me a little bit about why you chose the name Georgia's Voice. I could make an assumption, but I'd like to hear it from you, because to me it's quite profound.
Yeah. I mean, several reasons. Georgia can't tell people now, obviously, how she was feeling or make herself heard, so doing that for her. It's so Georgia's name lives on. It's that, Georgia's legacy. And it's giving these girls a voice the way that I wish Georgia had been able to.
Yeah. And I think, we talk a lot in bereavement about continuing bonds with the deceased. The person may not be here anymore, but their spirit is with us. Yeah. And through you, Georgia is still able to make a profound and huge difference, because we talk a lot about mental health issues with young people, but the majority emphasis will be on young men, very naturally, and I think we forget that a lot of young women have been struggling, especially over the past year or so.
Yeah.
So some of the young women who are coming to your groups presumably have been struggling, especially through lockdown.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, so much, and it's been made so much worse, obviously, with the pandemic, being so isolated, and yeah, you're right that about the legacy with Georgia, it's Georgia that's helping people just as much as I am.
Yes.
It's not all. If it wasn't for Georgia, of course we'd rather still have Georgia here. Yeah. Of course we would. But if this hadn't happened, then this wouldn't have happened. Yeah. It's because of Georgia that this help and this service is available. So, yeah, I wanted, of course, her name to be in there.
And now you've started a charity shop. to help support the charity,
Yeah.
which is a big venture. I mean, that to me would be incredibly scary.
Yeah, it is really scary. Everything that we're doing, it's the first time we've done any of it. It's the first time I've run a charity. It's the first time I've done support groups. It's the first time I've had a shop. Everything so far has kind of been on donations, fundraising. You know, we've done all kinds of crazy fundraisers, jumped out planes, tattoo-a-thons, things like that. But we needed kind of a steady income. So that's where the idea for the shop came around. And everyone wants to help so much. Everyone wants to be a part of it. You know, our community is so supportive. Everybody wants to help in any way that they can. And this is a way that they can help, you know, donating clothes, volunteering in the shop. It's where we now hold our Falmouth support group meeting as well. So it's kind of like something that the girls feel like is theirs.
Is there a room
also.
at the back, or because I've only been in the front of your shop, but is there room to hold a support group?
Well, we actually do hold it in the shop. We moved the I purposely made it so every rail in there was on wheels, so we could just move them out of the way and have. But we do also have an upstairs storeroom, and we have like some sofas and things up there. So sometimes, like if girls want to pop in during the day and have a little bit of time, they'll come in and sit up there during the day as well. Yeah.
So that's lovely. So that there's a place to come to, and yet you're also what other towns in Cornwall are you running groups? Which are the other places?
Okay, so as well as Falmouth, we've got one in Penryn.
Yeah.
We have Redruth, Camborne, Truro, Launceston, Parr, St Austell, St Stephen, Newquay.
Good heavens, that's
Penzance.
That's pretty well the whole of Cornwall.
I definitely will have missed one or two out there, but yeah.
That is amazing. And the people who are facilitating the groups, what training have they done?
So every single facilitator has a new full enhanced DBS check. Mm-hmm. Everybody has mental health first aid, suicide first aid, assist, safeguarding level 2. Is there one more thing? No, I think that's all of it.
That's pretty good.
So everybody has that. And then there's continuous personal development days. You know, we have personal development days, listening, counselling skills, sexual abuse, domestic violence, just self-harm, anything that might come up in the group, so that the facilitators are really well supported, as well as the members being supported. All the facilitators are really well supported as well, and supervision is available for all of the facilitators.
I was going to ask you, do they have supervision?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And from a trained counsellor?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all in place, which is excellent, because I think a lot of people don't realise that you don't just stick somebody in a room, that they have to have training and support because of some of the things that will come up.
Absolutely, 100%. No, all of our facilitators are really, really well supported, the same as all of our members are also. Yeah, no, that's really important.
Yeah. I remember when I first met you thinking, you've really done this properly. Yeah. You've done this the way it should be done, because I think people are not always aware of how much goes into organising this type of support, especially with a group of young people, young women who can
so
be
vulnerable. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been so lucky. So many people have. It hasn't just been me organising everything. I've got a great team behind me. And so many people came forward offering help as well, saying, can I do this, can I do that? And we've got an amazing team of counsellors as well, so that, all of our girls can have talking therapy.
And I think often, people, I've been a therapist working in the NHS for many years, and it's far better, especially with young people, if they can be supported outside of mental health services, so that we don't make people a patient.
Yes, no, I always think that's so important when we're recruiting facilitators. Actually really value the people that have had that lived experience. Well, I'm not it's great if they've got professional experience, but lived experience is what we're really looking for, because we're not providing a professional service. We're creating that space to listen, just that safe, confidential space for them to come and just have that outlet, you know, once a week or once a fortnight. And then, as I said, signposting, referring to other services.
Yes.
So to me, it's so important that the facilitators have had some kind of experience themselves with mental health, so that the girls can relate to them, because they're not going to be able to relate to someone who's never ever had anxiety or depression or been through anything in their life. So to me, that lived experience is actually, you know, we can send them on the training that they need and support them in every way, but having that lived experience is essential, I think.
And I think I remember you telling me you took quite a lot of guidance from Man Down.
Yes.
Which has been an incredibly successful men's group across Cornwall.
Yeah, well, that's where I got the idea to start off with, because I kind of, you know, I knew Ross really well, and that's what made me think, well, why can't I do it? And I remember sending him a message, and it was only a couple of months after Georgia died, and I think everyone was like, oh my God, what are you doing? This is too soon. But I needed something. I felt like all my purpose in life had gone. I needed some hope. I needed something to focus on, to be doing something positive, to be helping. Like I said, I couldn't help Georgia anymore. So it was, you know, what can I do in her memory to make her life really have meant something, to make her death have meant something. It can't have been for nothing.
Yeah.
Her life can't have been for nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I sent Ross a message, and, yeah, he met up with me straight away. I was probably in a bit of a mess then, but, like I say, didn't really have any idea of what George's voice was going to be exactly. But, yeah, he sat and answered all my questions and listened to me, and he was amazing, yeah, fantastic.
So it's really, again, I think it's that you have found, of course, you would never have wished that this would have happened or could have happened to you and your family, but through this great tragedy, you have created hope for other people through Georgia's voice, and I mean that literally through her the voice that can no longer be heard, but she is still there. Behind you, and I do think it's amazing, and thank you very much.